Okay, so frozen meat versus fresh meat. Here we go. You'll see a lot of cringivores, as I call them, carnivores, and they'll always buy a lot of meat, and it's usually frozen. And these same people who brag about, oh, I got all this meat, it comes in plastic, and they are always on about their low dose microplastic sea salt or whatever, and it's dumb. It's like, bro, your meat's literally wrapped in plastic. One thing I've been forgetting to do at the butcher, excuse me, is to ask them to not use the plastic paper or the plastic wrap that they use to weigh, like they put the plastic down and they weigh the meat. That plastic has a foam sprayed on it so it doesn't stick to the plastic, and that foam gets on your meat. So, yeah. But frozen meat is going to be less healing. It's going to be less healing by at least 25%. Depends on how long you freeze it too. The longer you freeze it, the more it loses its nutrients and enzymes. And you can see that too, because like if you freeze meat and it's not vacuum packed, the water will explode. Like the structured water that's in the meat, it will crystallize and it will destroy those nutrients. It also makes the meat very dry and unappealing. Also affects the fats. So, if you're cooking meat, yeah, you can freeze it because you're destroying it by cooking it. It's not really a big deal. But if you really want to heal and get the full benefits, then you want to eat fresh meat. Some people can't get fresh meat all the time, and that it is what it is. In some places, it can be hard to find, good fresh meat. It can be hard to find, whatever. But even just going to the grocery store, you can buy the meat there that's fresh. You might want to scrape off the top layer, the first eighth of an inch, because of how they spray it. But, you can get fresh meat there, so, it's not really it's not hard to find fresh meat, but if you're picky about the quality, then it could be. Like, if you refuse to eat grocery store meat, then it might be hard to find fresh meat for you, depending on where you live. Also, there's, if you're going to make high meat with fresh meat, obviously it's nourishing, it's better. You can make high meat from frozen meat. It is not as nourishing, it is more detoxifying, but just know that that's important. But you can do it. You can, but it's just not as nourishing. So if you feel like, well, I got this frozen meat and I don't want it thawed and eat it, I want to ferment it, so it has, whatever. Yeah, go ahead. Just be prepared for a detoxification. Sometimes it's hard to find, the right foods, and you have to do the best you can. So frozen meat's better than no meat. If you're traveling or whatever, sometimes that's the only place they do it. If you don't want to go to the store to buy the fresh meat, and you're at a restaurant or whatever, a lot of places like carpaccio, that's always frozen. So, but yeah, frozen meat's better than no meat, but fresh meat is better than frozen meat always. Just remember those things, and that's about all.